Hey everybody, it's Missy. Thanks for joining me today. I am here as part of the Top 10 Blog Hop for 2016. This is hosted by my scrappy friend Christine Meyer, and you can see all of the ladies that are taking part in this. Some on YouTube, some on Instagram, and some on their blogs. I chose 16 layouts because I could not narrow it down to 10, and these are in no particular order. We're just going to be discussing our favorite layouts, and this is one that I chose. This is one that I made using some of my scrap stash washi tape and some of my Shimmers products. I love this one because of the colors, and the photo is one of my favorites of my daughter wearing her giant tennis shoes to bed, and I just think it's really fun. I love the background, and I love how it turned out. This is another layout I made from my stash, and it started out as a craft piece of paper that I wound up gessoing and then coloring with watercolors, and then I used all of that pretty watercolor to back these rose cut files, and I absolutely think it turned out so pretty. I was worried about the craft paper, but I covered it up and used it, and it turned into something very pretty, and I love how it looks. This is one that I made recently for a guest spot over at Freckled Fawn, and I used all of the Freckled Fawn. I think it was one of the August embellishment kits. I just love the colors of this. I love how the white cut file looks on the white cardstock in the background, and you can kind of see it in a subtle way. And I love those big acetate words surrounding the black and white photos. I just think it turned out really cute, and even though it was one I threw together pretty quickly, it's one of my favorites for this year. This is one that I made at the beginning of the year when I was still on the Cut Shop design team. Love how this turned out. I love how I put the picture in between or behind the A and made it very soft and beachy with that bright picture. And I love how the shimmers and the watercolor turned out on the background. And I think the sunglasses were cute too on the E. Makes me want to go back to the beach. This was another one I made for the Cut Shop, and I love doing layouts like this where you find a quote and use a bunch of different pattern papers to cut the letters. And I love how random this is, but I think the quote is really cute. It's one of my favorite pictures, and I love how the light mint color cardstock looks with the gesso on it, and then the mint / aqua turquoisey color of watercolor on the middle of it. This is one I made for Simple Stories, and again I made a really big title, but this time I cut it on white cardstock and then backed the letters with different pattern paper, went over a lot of that with gesso, and then added some paint. And I just really like the big titles. I love how you can use different patterns and colors and get a lot of that on your page without it being too busy. And I think going with a big title is a fun way to get that look. And I love the colors on this. This is one I made just last week for Simple Stories. And again, a big title with pattern paper behind it. This is becoming a pattern for me, I guess you could say. I love this one because of the picture. My child is trying to lick Santa's hand. Yes, this is from a few years ago, but I love the colors in this collection. The Mistletoe Kisses, I think it's called. And I just love how the title just sort of encompasses the photo there, and you see it automatically. This is one I made several months ago for My Mind's Eye. Different color scheme for me, but again, a big title with pattern paper behind it. I love how the title is in the center, and then I use the photo above, the photo below, combined all of the different fonts for the title, a big title, smaller title mixed together, and then some subtle watercolor on the background with some messy thread. And it makes me want to go back to the beach again. This is one I made not too long ago for Hip Kit Club, and again, I didn't realize that almost all of these have a big title in the background. Hey, I think I have decided what my favorite kinds of layouts are, right? So anyway, I did the same thing. I cut this out on my Cameo. I found the quote on Pinterest and used different pattern paper to back it, and then embellished two different clusters, one around the photo and then one around to the bottom left with the subtle watercolor behind it. Another big title. This one I did a lot of hand stitching on. This was for Hip Kit Club. I love pool pictures or out time summer around the pool pictures, and these are my favorite colors of all time. yellow, pink, and blue. And I love the big title with the watercolor inside the words and then the hand stitching around it in the coordinating thread colors. I just love how bright and summery this looks. And I love the mixed media part of it. This one I made earlier this year for Bella Boulevard. I love the circles. I love the bold colors in this and the black and white pops with all of those different color circles. And this is another way you can get bright, fun colors and lots of patterns on your page, is by using punches. And so this one was fun to make. And I love the stitching as well. Sort of created a circular grid there with some fun stitching. And I like that this talks about how weird I am, because, you know, I am. What can I say? This is another Bella Boulevard I made not too long ago. Almost the same color scheme. Lots of black and white. I just love these colors of my child with her big hair on this day. And so I had to, you know, make this an 80s hair rock-on type page. And I love the cassette tapes in the background. It was very fun to make. I just love bright colors. And this sort of encompasses all of the bright colors. One of my favorites. Another Bella Boulevard. This was actually my very first layout for the Bella Boulevard creative team, and I just could not resist using some of that illustrated faith with all of those gorgeous flowers. I had to go crazy with the colors and add lots of bright blue to the background. And this is just one of my favorite photos of my daughter looking so pretty in her little pink run around the house clothes. But yet I love how it matches this collection. I love the title, how I cut it on that really bright floral paper. Another one of my favorite layouts with a big title. I used lots of the pink paisley Paige Evans Fancy Free for this, and this is when I was a guest designer back in May for pink paisley. I cut these using a Cut Shop open letter alpha cut file, backed the letters, added some gesso and mixed media paints to the background, and I love how it turns out. Again, patterns, colors, all mix and match together there. And I love this quote because I was squishing her and she loved it. Another big title. I made this one very recently for a guest designer spot at Pretty Little Studio using the Here Comes the Sun collection. I don't even have to describe what I did here because it's the same description as almost all of my other layouts. My favorite colors, my favorite kinds of pictures, my favorite kind of background. Love it. I love it. I could make this type of layout every day for the rest of eternity and probably be very happy. Okay, this is one of my all-time favorite layouts, and I made this for a Flair for Buttons, and it's celebrating Autism Awareness Month. Both of my daughters are autistic and nonverbal, and one of the symbols for autism is the handprint, and I had some Flair buttons that had that symbol on there, and so I created the handprint using some acrylic paint and just went wild with those bright colors of the rainbow. And I love what this page represents, and I love how it turned out. It's very special to me. And so those are my top 16 layouts. Thank you so much for joining me. Check out all of the ladies down below and visit all of their YouTube channels and give them a comment. Thanks for watching.